Another essential activity management skill is the skill of flexicuting. Flexicuting. Okay, we invented a new word, but I think it's very, very descriptive. To be able to flexicute means you got to be able to turn on a dime in the middle of the day. You need to be able to go for that window of opportunity even though it's extremely inconvenient. Flexicuting involves being as willing to leave your action list as you are to stick with it. But there's another element of flexicuting, and that's being able to walk the path of the other time management style. Basically, there are two time management styles. The first one is what we call monochronic. A monochronic time management style is very structured. Typically what happens here is we do one event, check it off, move on to the next. Monochronic style people are very linear in the way they operate. Most of the monochronic people I know tend to file out of sight horizontally. They're very structured and very organized, and it is a good style. I believe I entered this planet as a monochronic time manager. I feel it was innate with me, and your style probably is innate with you. The other kind of style is what we call polychronic. A polychronic work style is where things are done simultaneously. For example, here's typically what a polychronic work style person will do. They'll work on this event up here, they'll go down and do this thing, they'll go up here, then back down to here. They get their work done at the end of the day also. It's just a different style. Both are good. I learned about a polychronic work style in a very abrupt way many years ago. Climbed onto an airplane at Chicago O'Hare Field and fell instantly in love with a flight attendant. I mean to tell you, by the time the oxygen demonstration was over, I needed the oxygen. Third date, we planned our honeymoon. Fourth date, we were engaged. We got married very, very quickly, discovering we'd fallen in love with each other's strengths, but had gone home to live with our two different styles. And my spouse and I are different in every possible conceivable way. We do have 4 children in common. But you see, when I check into a hotel or room at night, I empty my pockets, and there's a way to do that. I stack my coins, and I know there are some coin stackers out there, or you might know one. But what we do is we take the quarters and pile them up, then the nickels, then the pennies because they're the next largest, and then the dimes. Makes a nice little display on the dresser. That's monochronic. I'm that sick. Brenda, on the other hand, just drops it any place, but love is blind. I thought she was perfect when we first got married. I expressed that to a friend of mine over lunch one day. He said, "Trapper, you're making me gag. Brenda's a very nice woman, but she's certainly not perfect." I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "Have you ever noticed she has very few eyelashes?" I said, "What?" It really irritated me that he would say that about my spouse. I'd never noticed that before. So I went home and just kind of checked it out. He was right. After he said that, I wanted her to have eyelashes. So we fixed that. We bought a pair. And that was the beginning of my trying to fix my spouse for the next 10 years, especially trying to fix her in terms of her style. I wanted her to be monochronic, and she tried very hard to use that work style. Finally, after 10 years of marriage, I said to my partner, "You know, you're not the same woman I married." I will never forget the learning experience. She sort of just bristled up and said, "Well, is that right? Would you like to know why?" And I said, "Yes, why?" She said, "I have become you. How do you like it?" Well, I didn't like it. It was the beginning of our starting to celebrate our differences, and we discovered if you take a monochronic style and put it with a polychronic style, you can synergize and really be a lot more effective. So we're still married today after many, many years, but it took us a long time to understand how to deal with each other's style. So my question to you is this: are you monochronic or polychronic? What do you do with the information? Well, you can walk the path of the other time manager, or in a customer situation, you can walk the path of the customer. Let me share with you just one example. Years ago, when I was working for Daytimers, we had a distributor in London, England. And one day, they received a Daytimer binder back from a very unhappy customer whose dog had chewed it up. Now, it wasn't the company's fault, but what do you think the company did? That's right, they replaced the binder. But we say in customer service, when we're fixing a problem, you don't just fix the problem, you fix it with a perk. So they sent over a dog biscuit. 2 weeks later, a thank you note appeared from the dog. All of this information goes in the computer. It's now 1 year later, time to send over the new calendars, and they sent over a second dog biscuit. Like clockwork, a second thank you note appeared from the dog. Now, you think I'm embellishing this story. This actually happened. I was in London. I know the players. There was a PS at the bottom of the dog's letter. The PS said, Got a problem. Cat's jealous. Yes, they sent over a can of cat food. Third letter appeared, this from the owner of the animals, thanking Daytimers for excellence in customer service. But there was a PS at the bottom of the owner's letter. The PS said, oh, by the way, the dog really didn't write those letters. The cat did. Do you think that customer will ever buy the other major brand? I think not. Why? Because the adjustment was handled in a polychronic way to a polychronic customer. Save time. Learn to walk the path of the other time management style. You'll find life will be more fun, and you'll both be a lot more productive.